The Solemnity of the Nativity of St. John was celebrated at the sanctuary of his birth in Karem and at the Monastery of St. John in the desert. The ceremony for the laying of the cornerstone of the future Terra Sancta Museum was held at the Monastery of the Flagellation in Jerusalem. About 5,000 people gathered in protest at TABGHA in Galilee on June the 21st outside the Church of the Multiplication of the Loaves and Fishes. An international conference on religious tourism was held in Bethlehem with the goal of promoting local development. John the Baptist described himself as the voice of one crying in the wilderness, "Prepare the way of the Lord, make straight his paths." And it is right in the desert that the Franciscans, along with the various religious communities of the Holy Land, celebrated the liturgical solemnity of the Nativity of St. John, a solemnity that began yesterday, on June the 23rd, with the recitation of the first Vespers at the Monastery of St. John in the desert, where the precursor found refuge after escaping the massacre of the innocents. First Vespers were celebrated in the chapel of the monastery by Father Dobromir Jazdal, vicar of the custody of the Holy Land. After the prayer, all present went down in procession to St. John's grotto.
Questa festa è molto importante per la missione.
This feast is very important to St. John the Baptist's mission, the prophet of the Old and the New Testament, who was sent to invite all people to prepare the way of the Lord.
Invitare a tutti a preparare la strada del Signore.
All four Gospels place St. John the Baptist at the beginning of Jesus' ministry, and they present him as Jesus' precursor. St. Luke made the connection between these two figures and their respective missions. In their very conception and birth, Jesus and John are brought into relationship with one another. This morning's Mass was celebrated by Father Pierbattista Pizzaballa, Custos of the Holy Land, at the Church of St. John on the Mountain, a place venerated for the birth of John the Baptist. In his homily, the Father Custos pointed out that the Gospel speaks of awe and wonder when it refers to two births, John's birth and the preparation of the coming of Christ. His name, John, means God's grace. The Custos then continued talking about the infertile couple, the symbol of a tired society, where the word of God was no longer heard. With the announcement of John the Baptist, the season of silence is over and the season of the word begins, so his mission is to precede Jesus and prepare the way for the word. This is an important celebration for the Church in all the world, but especially for those who have come here to participate in it.
O fato de celebrarmos no lugar de algumas particularidades dessa revelação de Deus, do mistério cristão, isso nos ajuda a mergulhar no mistério.
The fact that we celebrate right at the site of God's revelation and of the Christian mystery helps us to delve into this mystery and come close to the divine grace that is revealed in the lives of certain people, as in the case of this feast that we celebrate today, the feast of St. John the Baptist. It also helps us to seek the mystery of our own answer to God's call. It is a great grace to be able to participate in the liturgy here, and I thank God for this opportunity.
Cada de nós somos convidados, somos chamados por Deus. Participar da celebração, da liturgia propriamente no lugar, isso é uma graça imensa e agradecemos a Deus por essa oportunidade.
At the end of the celebration, a new reception hall for pilgrims was unveiled inside the Holy Monastery of St. John on the Mountain. On this occasion, the Custos also thanked all those who worked on the project, which will be managed by Father Severino Lubecki. Karem, with its holy sites surrounded by thick woods, is a place that encourages prayer.
Gesù stesso spesso si ritirava nei luoghi solitari per avere quel unico rapporto con il suo Padre per pregare.
Jesus himself used to withdraw to lonely places in order to have that unique relationship with his Father and to pray. And we too are invited to find these places in our lives, despite everything and despite our worries. This is the right home for prayer, solitude and reflection. It is used by both religious and secular, who from time to time come to pray and reap its benefits.
è utilizzato da diversi sia religiosi sia anche laici che di tempo in tempo vengono qui a pregare e sfruttare, usufruire di questo beneficio.
Spiritus Sancti descendat super vos et maneat semper.
Today, the cornerstone of the Terra Sancta Museum was laid at the Monastery of the Flagellation. It's a unique project in which the custody of the Holy Land has decided to invest to expose the roots of Christianity and tell a story that is worth telling.
Cominciano I lavori per una delle 3 sezioni del Terra Sancta Museum a Gerusalemme. La prima sezione.
We are beginning work on one of the 3 sections of the Terra Sancta Museum in Jerusalem. The first to be presented will be the section providing visitors and pilgrims with a very modern multimedia experience as they begin their journey on the Via Dolorosa to the Holy Sepulchre, right in this very place.
Via Dolorosa verso il Santo Sepolcro proprio in questo luogo. Secondo le statistiche ufficiali passa più.
According to official statistics, more than 1 million people walk on the Via Dolorosa each year, and that means that they follow this path in the footsteps of Jesus and see it as an important experience for their lives. Our aim is to contribute to this experience in order to enrich it, to make it more intimate and more deeply felt by all the visitors.
È quello di contribuire a questa esperienza per arricchirla, per renderla più interiore, più sentita da parte di tutti I visitatori.
The ceremony included features recalling the foundation of the first museum in 1928 and was conducted by the Custos of the Holy Land, Father Pierbattista Pizzaballa. He stressed how the Terra Sancta Museum should not just be a place to put a large number of objects, but a living cultural centre with the goal of letting everyone know about the links between this city and the local and international Christian traditions from the first centuries to the present day. It's an ambitious project that today lays the foundations for the first 2 sections of the museum in Jerusalem, which, as the Father Custos recalled, is a city with a universal vocation whose Christian character must be preserved as one of the components of its universal configuration. It's a project that we have worked hard on and with great enthusiasm because of the importance of the exhibits and of the places, but also because of the continuous flow of discoveries that only the amazing and fascinating city of Jerusalem can offer. We begin today with this first part of the museum, which will be for multimedia. It's the most popular part and open to all, an important start. The museum is important because it contains materials that are extraordinary archaeologically and historically, covering the presence of the Franciscans in the Holy Land from the year 1200 onwards. We've built other important museums, but this one is really special. The event was also attended by the consuls of France, Italy, Spain, Turkey and the United States of America, representing those countries that have contributed most with items to be exhibited and financial support. We are really proud to have laid the cornerstone of the Terra Sancta Museum today, which is a project that the custody, together with all of us, have been working on for quite some time, and to which a number of European countries have decided to contribute, including Italy.
Una serie di paesi europei hanno già deciso di contribuire, fra cui l'Italia, e in particolar modo per quanto ci riguarda.
We are especially interested in the way in which the rooms will be constructed to reorganize those donations that come from the Italian monarchies and from our maritime republics.
Italiane e dalle nostre repubbliche marinare.
The Pro Terra Sancta Association is overseeing this project, which is made up of several stages.
Il Terra Sancta Museum è un grande progetto su cui
The Terra Sancta Museum is a large project that we've been working on for more than 3 or 4 years. We've worked a lot on the planning and design stages. Today is an important day because we have finally laid the cornerstone, marking the start of the construction phase. We are very happy about this and hope to complete the project in a couple of years.
un paio d'anni di concludere il progetto.
Today we are here at the Monastery of the Flagellation, where the first 2 sections of the museum will be hosted. Then we will complete the archaeological section, which will also be here at the Monastery of the Flagellation.
Abbiamo già iniziato i lavori di ristrutturazione, ma procederemo a completare la sezione archeologica che viene
In the third and last phase, we will work on and complete the historical section, which will be hosted at the Franciscan Monastery of St. Saviour.
San Salvatore, convento headquarter dei fatti francescani della custodia di Terra Santa, e a San Salvatore verrà ospitata la sezione storica.
The Holy Land today asks for support for this project, just as the Franciscans have always supported it.
I have the honor of representing the people who finance part of this museum. That also includes the custody. Of course, in addition to 7 private lenders, religious orders that have contributed, and they will be honored with their name on a stone on the floor of the museum.
Sul pavimento del museo.
On Sunday, June the 21st, the religious leaders of the Holy Land held a peaceful protest to appeal for the protection of the holy places. On June the 18th, the Benedictine Church of the Multiplication of the Loaves and Fishes on the shores of Lake Tiberias was damaged by arson. Many voices have been raised to express solidarity with local Christians. About 5,000 people participated in the demonstration calling for justice and peace. From the early morning, the leaders of various Christian churches were gathering for a prayer service. The coordinator on this occasion was the Latin Patriarch Emeritus of Jerusalem, Monsignor Michel Sabat, who strongly condemned the act of vandalism in an interview. In his opinion, the church should do its best, hoping that the State of Israel will assume its responsibility on the issue. During a private speech from within the church, the Patriarch Emeritus also shared reflections on the person of Christ in the face of persecution. Jesus told us that if someone slaps us on the right cheek, we are invited to offer the other one as well. We are called to be people of peace and forgiveness, ready to forgive everything, for the power of love is much stronger. Crosses and Vatican flags were waved during the demonstration, which was accompanied by a succession of songs and Marian prayers. At times there were posters demanding justice, and the participants had to be reminded now and then that the main reason for their gathering was to pray for peace.
E noi vediamo questi atti.
Negative acts like these are an assault to relationships among nations. We are trying to live in peace here in this land. I lead a large number of scouts, and our desire is to build a better world.
Un mondo migliore.
La stragrande maggiorità della società di Israele è assolutamente non radicale.
The vast majority of Israeli society is neither radical nor violent. However, there is a more radical minority, and we've been aware of it since last year. There is an ongoing effort to fight the attitude of this minority.
Questa minorità c'è uno sforzo di più è necessario per combatterla.
Spero che i responsabili dello Stato, i responsabili della
I hope that the leaders of the state, the police, will react with strength and justice, and that they will find a peaceful solution to what has happened here, in this monastery.
E determinare questi modi che abbiamo avuto in questo convento.
The day ended with the recitation of Vespers, a prayer of thanksgiving to God for all the graces and blessings received on this day. Promotion of sustainable socio-economic development for the host communities. This was the topic at the International Conference on Religious Tourism held in Bethlehem on June the 15th and 16th. The regional program for tourism in the Middle East, a part of the UN's World Organization for Tourism, promoted the event in cooperation with the Palestinian Tourism Ministry.
هذا المؤتمر تاريخي لأول مرة بفلسطين.
This is a historic conference because it's the first time that the United Nations has organized a conference in Palestine as a host country. This is an opportunity for tourism, but it's also political.
هذه المؤتمرات هي تأتي لكي تدعم وتنهض بوضع أفضل للمواطن الفلسطيني.
These conferences support and improve the situation of Palestinian citizens because although it is a conference for the entire Middle East, it's a way of supporting the local economy. The International Forum was attended by delegations from about 80 countries with the goal of giving tourism organizations, representatives of religious communities, the private sector, academia, and international and regional organizations an opportunity to exchange views, perspectives, and experiences on how to develop and promote religious tourism.
شارك بالمؤتمر السياحي الديني في بيتلحم.
We are hopeful that the conference will give us an opportunity to introduce the concept and importance of social tourism and its role in Palestinian society.
هذا المؤتمر بيختلف عن أي مؤتمر تاني إنه هو مش مؤتمر راح تكون نتيجته استثمار.
This conference is important, although it will not have immediate results. The results to which we aspire are twofold. The first one is breaking the typical image of Palestine, and the second one is to raise awareness that in Palestine there is a very great capacity for tourism, a rich culture.
دولة في عندها مقومات سياحية غنية جدا وفي عندها ثقافة غنية جدا.
يعني يمكن مش راح يكون في نتائج آنية بعد هذا المؤتمر، بس متوقع إنه إذا إحنا
It's true that perhaps we may not be able to have immediate results after this conference, but we expect that if we're able to apply the fundamental principles of sustainable religious tourism, we will see a sharp improvement in tourism in the future.
We are here to tell you about the Holy Land, to raise awareness and visibility of the Mother Church of Jerusalem, local Christians, and holy places. We are here to tell so many forgotten stories of daily efforts, courage, and faith. We are here to promote hope in the land of God. Support those who give a voice to custody of the Holy Land's work.